Hey boss, hey boss, I want to watch a digital circus, boss. Let's watch a digital circus, boss. Hey boss. Hey everybody, my name is Rance Vods. Yippee! Welcome back to Rance Vods. Sorry for the slow uploads. You're probably like, damn, who is this guy? When did I subscribe to this guy? Don't unsubscribe. Do not unsubscribe. It's been a very, very, very long time, and there's a reason. There is a reason, right? I moved to a new place. I don't know if you guys follow the first channel, the main channel, but yeah, I have been in the process of moving. I had to get myself settled. If you watch the latest video on the main channel, the room still sounds echoey. So if you turn it all the way up, you can still hear like the sound bouncing off the walls because I didn't have any padding for the room. That's how like recent and everything was. Today, I figured I'd talk about something that I think is not necessarily close to me, but something I've been keeping up with for probably a good long while. Something I've been keeping up with since episode 1, coincidentally, and that is the amazing digital circus. Yippee! My inner band kid kind of likes this show. I never played an instrument before, by the way, but my inner band kid kind of really likes this show because it's really reminiscent of like the YouTube I grew up with, like that 2016 2018 era. I don't know, it's just something about it, something about the community that's like, wow, my younger self would dig this a lot, right? But I don't tell people in public that I'm into this show because like I'm a grown-ass man. I'm about to be 23 soon. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of enjoy it in silence. But recently, the show has ended. Which is like, damn. Ended with 9 episodes, I believe. Yes, 9 episodes. Which is like, wow. What a pretty good run, right? But then, why am I making a video today? Because the ending was dog shit. I can't talk to anybody about it because none of my friends watch this. Because, again, they're all grown men, right? And if I talk to anybody about this on the internet, it seems like I'm a fucking weirdo band kid, and I don't like that persona linked to me. So the next best thing was to make a YouTube video about it. That's why we have the second channel, just to throw shit at the wall. Am I right? If you haven't watched Digital Circus, I know a couple people in the crowd haven't. Hashtag Jabari Hawk. This video is for you, by the way. Digital Circus is about these little characters, right? They get sent into the digital circus, which is like the computer game world, and they get sent on adventures by this like rogue kind of AI, and now they're like basically stuck there, but they're trying to figure out a way to get out and like why they're in the circus, how they got there in the first place. Real interesting stuff, right? I actually like the mystery aspect of it. This reminds me of the early days of FNAF, where everything was very mysterious, very subtle, and the dead kids were just, in the animatronics, and we didn't know anything about the dead children. Now it's the hallucination discs, and the elephant animatronics, and Henry Afton, and like it's so much more confusing now as a FNAF liker, enjoyer. Digital Circus shares that same appeal for me with FNAF, and I think I really like that because it just feels, like I said, it feels like that old YouTube. It feels nostalgic in a way, and I really enjoy it because of that. And the animation is like really good too. I watch it solely off of, oh my gosh, the animation is immaculate for an indie YouTube series, so yeah, I like Digital Circus. I come clean. I'm coming clean. You can arrest me, you can write this on my will. I like Digital Circus, okay? But I think I didn't like the ending. Actually, not even I think, I know I didn't like the fucking ending. Because it was dog shit. Like I said, it was dog shit. But let me talk about what led up to that before we dive into the last episode, okay? So I'm pretty sure in episode 7, this was the one where they got the adventure, the quote unquote adventure, where Kane set them up to basically escape, right? But it was all fucking fake. But the way it was set up, he put the guy Abel, right? He put the guy Abel in there as a plant, basically to mislead them and tell them like, oh, this is the way out. This is what we need to do. This is how we do it. And everybody just went along with it. But Jax was going along with it because, you know, everybody was there. But he was the only one contemplating like, oh, what if this is fake? What if this is a fucking sham? And he just happened to be right. Even he couldn't even cope with the fact that he was right about this being a fucking sham. And then he presses no when they're at the red and the blue button, right? And he geeks out and presses no, and then realizes like, oh, I was right all along. Oh my gosh, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. Just on an emotional level, right? But I think the idea of like, oh, this was never real. I as Kane, I set this up to where you guys aren't escaping the digital circus, even though the lore that he had in place was like it was sprinkled throughout the whole series, basically from episode 1 to episode 7. We were under the assumption that these people were here in the digital circus, and there is a way out. We're gonna try to find a way out, right? So when we get to episode 8, it's so weird because they're kind of down in the dumps. All the digital circus goers are down in the dumps. They don't know what to do with themselves, and so Kane starts to tweak because everyone's like, "Yo, we fucking hate it here. We fucking hate you. We fucking hate you, Kane." And he is telling them, "Oh, you guys don't have a choice in this. You guys don't have the freedom you think you do." And so he tweaks, and then eventually they delete him. They just delete him off the face of the earth, which is like, damn, I'd be crying if I look like that too, bro. I'd be saying that's fucked up, but that's really fucked up what they be doing to y'all. Anyway, they erase his ass, and the circus basically starts falling apart. The circus just starts to collapse, and I'm digging it. And going into the finale, I'm thinking, damn, this show might be on a generational run. This show, if they can end this in an appropriate way, this show might be on a generational run that no other indie studio has done before on YouTube, at least in my eyes, right? So when we get to the actual finale, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. And let me tell you, I was gonna watch this in theaters. Oh, somebody messaged me. Who the fuck was that? That was my friend DeMar DeRozan. So Hot 27. Let's see what he wants. I was going to see this movie in theaters, right? And I'm glad I didn't, because I would have wasted a $20 fucking bill seeing this bullshit in theaters with people who probably stink. And that would have pissed me off. I would have been fuming for the rest of the week, bruh. Oh my gosh. Getting into the movie, the first 30 minutes is episode 8, I believe. And I think, and if I remember correctly, it was episode 8, and then we went into the actual movie, and nothing ever happens. That's what was the first 30 minutes of new content. That's what it was. And after that, we got into the Jax fucking backstory. It was the Jax Digital Circus. And then after that, it was Kane. I remember now immediately, because it was also nothing ever happens, but I was so very confused. Kane came back. He came back. He was able to build himself out of the void and get back into the circus. And I was so very confused, because if this nigga was completed or deleted from the game files, what the fuck is he doing back in the circus? How is he able to just use his fucking building blocks to get back into the circus? That didn't make any fucking sense. That didn't make any sense, dude. Oh my gosh. But let me backtrack a little bit. Let me go back to Jax, right? So during episode, I think 7 and 8, there were these scenes of Jax supposedly abstracting, right? And that's when I'm assuming the game files get a little corrupted. He was abstracting. He was going through these sequences where he was kind of geeking, right? But it felt good to him from what I was able to gather. He was just kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. He was just geeked. He was geeked off a pill. And so I think, in my opinion, I'm sure everybody else thought the same thing. Oh, Jax is gonna abstract in the last episode. He's gonna do something, right? And they made it pretty obvious throughout the series that he was dealing with something internally, and that's causing the physical pain, and he's going to die, basically, right? When we finally get to that scene, it happens off screen. He gets off screen like fucking Gojo. And it's so weird because it's this buildup throughout the series, this large buildup that this guy is deeply flawed, and he is going through something that he saw other people go through that were close to him, and he's struggling to cope with the fact that he's dealing with the same stuff. And for that payoff to not happen, and see, damn, this nigga just turned into a fucking blob monster, it was a little frustrating. I'm watching it and I'm trying to connect the pieces like, damn, what the fuck? Because it happens as if, okay, they were doing the little psychic powers thing, they were making blocks all together, and he's like, whatever, I don't want to talk to you guys. And then immediately after the scene, they're all looking over the banister thing, and they're like, oh, I wish I would have helped Jax. I wish I would have pried more. I wish Jax didn't do this. But we don't know how much time that was. We don't know how much time transpired in between those two events. You get what I mean? It could have been a day. It could have been a month. But we don't know because it happened off screen. We don't know how it happened. And they seemed remorseful. They seemed like, damn, we fucked up. We didn't help them enough, right? But they aren't sad enough for me. Because after all the shit they went through, just to see one of their own go off the fucking deep end, I think they should be a bit more distraught than, oh, we gotta be there for each other. This isn't the end. We're gonna try to find a way out. We're gonna do what we can. Bullshit. This is not right. This is not cool. This is fucking bullshit. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on the show, bro. We then get into this long segment of Jax basically going through his story of, one, when he gets to the circus, and two, the people he met through the circus, right? And I feel as though waiting till the very, very, very end to introduce these people was a bit of a mistake, because I think the episode before we got to see the queen version of Kinger, his wife or whatever, which was like, okay, cool. But I think waiting until the very end to introduce the fucking frog, like, we knew she was there. We knew people were there before the original Digital Circus cast that we have now, right? Because look at Kaufmo fucking died. But I think having those moments sprinkled throughout the series would have been, again, a nice build-up instead of blowing our load at the very last episode where we don't have the time to fucking explain anything, right? So we get into this scene where he's talking to Ribbit about how he was homeless and he doesn't know if he killed his mom or not. And I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of sad. Like, I'm not gonna cry or shed any tears or anything, but the least he could have done was go back. He could have just went back to check on his mom. Worst case scenario, he did fucking kill her, and now he's going to jail, which fucking sucks. But consequences of your actions, buddy. Sorry. Or he just goes back home, has a nice dinner, and that's it. His mom just needs to take a Advil or something, you know? So when we find this out, like I said, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But then Kaufmo knocks on the door and is like, hey guys, what's going on? And he throws the bow off of his head, basically like they were fucking or something. And he's like, oh no, come back later. And then he tells her, if I hear another peep of this, if you ever bring this up, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Not really, but that's the president he sent, right? So as Ribbit keeps trying to talk to Jax about the night and what they talked about and how they were like really, really close friends, he just keeps pushing her away. And I understand being hurt. I understand that nuance of, oh man, I don't know if I can really talk about this with somebody. I don't know if I can trust this person. But you just had a heart-to-heart with this person. Now you're treating them like shit. Now you're treating everybody like fucking shit. And most of these people didn't fucking do anything to you. What the fuck did Pomni do to you? Why the fuck are you treating a little jester so fucking rude when all she's done is be nice to you? What the fuck? So let me calm down. Because at the end of the day, it's just a little fucking show, right? But we get to Pomni and we see how he treats everybody else, and it doesn't make me feel bad for him. Just looking how he's gone about things, I don't feel bad for him being a terrible fucking person to people who've done almost nothing to him. Pomni doesn't even fucking know Ribbit. Pomni doesn't, like, she doesn't know Kaufmo. What's your name? Ragatha barely knew Ribbit. You get what I mean? So you're just being an asshole just to be an asshole. And so when we get this scene of Pomni hugging Jax, he's like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. Where's my team? Where's my support? I don't feel bad. I don't care. And maybe if I had that scene of him actually abstracting, I would have that nuance of damn, he just went through this really, really painful thing on his own, but really he doesn't want to actually die. But at the same time, there's this nuance of, oh, he was an asshole to everybody. You get what I mean? And that would, in my opinion, that would balance it out a lot more to where it makes me feel something a bit more complex. It makes me think a little more, right? It makes me think. And I don't think this last episode makes me think any positive thoughts. It makes me think negative thoughts, right? So let me calm down, because again, this is just a little fucking jester show. That's what's getting me. It's the little jester show with the Gangle and Pomni, like it. Holy shit! Let me calm down. I think not even the most frustrating part about this episode, not the pacing, not the deep character lore, not the non-abstracting scene, not Kane. I think the most frustrating part about this series was the very, very end, right? Kane becomes somewhat sentient. Well, he was already sentient, but he becomes a bit more aware of what he's done, and he comes to the Digital Circus folks. He's like, oh guys, I'm so sorry. I hope I can make it up to you. After he just had a fucking spaz out the previous episode. Okay, buddy. And he finds out that these are real people. He suddenly gains empathy, like iDubbbz. He gains empathy at the age of 26, right? And he explains to everybody who their real life counterparts are. Hey, Pomni, you go explore abandoned buildings. Your name's Abigail, and what's her name? The one with the mask. That's not Zubul, right? That's what the fuck? Gangle. He tells Gangle, oh, you are a manga artist, which is reflected throughout her room because she had little manga doodles and stuff like that. And then Zubul had a bar, and throughout the series, they had all these different pieces they could put on themselves, and eventually, like in the real world, they found something that was consistent, and they found something that they identified with, which was, hey, that's a pretty cool parallel, right? Kinger was like a scientist, and who else was there? Jax was homeless. We found that out. Jax was a hobo. Sorry to be insensitive about Jax, but I really don't give a fuck at this point. We find all of this out, right? But then we proceed to find out that none of these people in the circus are technically real. From what I was able to gather, these are just copies of them. These are just copies of them, and the real world counterparts just kept on living. Like, they just lived their regular lives, while the ones in the circus technically aren't real either. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating. That wasn't even the most frustrating part, right? It's frustrating knowing that these niggas go throughout the rest of the episode like, oh yeah, we're little game characters. Yes, we get to be game characters for the rest of our life. And everybody is just fucking okay with that. All of what these niggas went throughout the whole series is them trying to get out of the digital circus. And then they just roll over and think, oh, this is okay. We're okay to just stay here because we found out we're little video game characters, and we that's it. What the fuck? What the fuck? That, bro, when I tell you, like, that was the turning point for me. Like, why are we so comfortable with the fact, after all we've been through, why are we just okay just living here? We're prisoners. We're prisoners. Oh my gosh, let me be in that fucking digital circus. I would have been yelling at the top of my lungs, yo niggas, we gotta get out of here. What the fuck? Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. I cannot properly articulate how furious this makes me. It's such a fucking cop-out, dude. It's such a fucking cop-out because, again, all they wanted to do was leave. And now that, like, what makes them want to switch? You know what I mean? Seeing themselves, if anything, seeing myself live a life that I didn't get to have, that would make me angry. Because if he has it, then I'm supposed to have it. What the hell? Because we're the same nigga. Oh my gosh, bro. And then the series just ends. They paint murals and play ball and go to the beach, and the series just ends like that. And they go on adventures. And Kane's like, oh well, I guess I'll leave the adventures open-ended now, so we can all have some fun. And everybody's just cool with it. Everybody's just fucking cool with it. And then the series ends, and then we get the final credit scene, and Zubul and Gango are having sex, dude. And that's it. That's it. That's the amazing digital fucking circus. Fuck this series. Fuck the fans. Fuck this. Holy shit, dude. I don't necessarily know how to end this video, because this is just like a 30-minute long rant of how I hate the digital circus now. Because I thought going into the show, I would say, hey, this show is, in my opinion, very good. Despite what the fan base is, I don't really interact with fan bases much anymore because, again, I'm going on 23, right? And so when I'm watching a show and I'm watching it in my personal vacuum, it's like, man, this show is really good. And I would honestly give this show probably like an 8 going into the finale, right? After the finale, I would give it like a 4. I would give it a 4. Like, they botched the landing so fucking bad, and none of these niggas on Tumblr and fucking Reddit are gonna accept that. They're like, oh well, the ending was good. This is a symbol for me, and I was in this situation too. And I don't give a fuck. The ending was dog shit. I don't care. So yeah, that's it. I don't like the digital circus anymore. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.